One of my favorite topics today.
And this is going to be a little history weather crossover. We talked about tornado formation last week, but how do we classify tornadoes? All of that started with Mr. Tornado himself, Ted Fujita, back in the 1900s. And we'll go through his life story because it's very fascinating about how he came to classify tornadoes using the F scale. So he grew up in Japan, and in 1945 he sought answers to the destruction from the atomic bombs. So he took sketches and looked at the rubble, and he mapped it out basically, and this was his first damage survey that he would then use for tornadoes once he came over to the United States. But he noticed these very fine details that others would gloss over. So with weather maps, he was interested in meteorology as well. He went to school for engineering in Japan, but he was interested in the weather. So with weather maps, he went into the fine details that others glossed over. And with that keen eye, he noticed in the mountainous terrain of Japan that there was pressure differences in thunderstorms. And he theorized that there were updrafts and downdrafts within thunderstorms. Groundbreaking thinking at that time. No one else was looking at this fine scale of meteorology back in the 1940s. So then he saw that there was other research being done in the United States by Horace Byers at the University of Chicago, that he was doing research similar to what Fujita was doing in Japan. So he contacted him, he flew over to Chicago, and he joined Horace Byers' research team. And what they were doing was looking into why planes were crashing in the United States because of weather-related or specifically thunderstorm-related issues. So they put together this report, but that would also come up later in Fujita's life. But the event that Fujita was really focused on was in Fargo, North Dakota in 1957. There was a big tornado outbreak that went right through the heart of Fargo, and he collected hundreds of photos from the community. He mapped out where the tornado struck, how large they were, and he linked up all those photos with these very detailed sketches. So he traced the path of the tornado, he determined how wide it was in certain areas, basically setting the standard for tornado surveys in the future. He took all of this data, all of the information, the photos that he got, all of the damage that was left, and he obviously put that into these very detailed sketches. And he took some of these details, like a rotating cloud, what we now call a supercell, spawning multiple tornadoes in a line. So all of this information was left just based on the rubble. He took all of the debris that was left from the damage of the tornadoes and put that into his research. He was really interested in taking that kind of forensic approach. Based on the damage, how can we learn more about tornadoes? And doing aerial surveys, he noticed circular patterns across the main tornado funnel path. So small sub-vortices within that larger tornado path. You could see his sketch here, where there were these smaller areas of rotation as the tornado moved in a straight line. So he came up with another theory, and this was, again, groundbreaking at the time, that was not looked at fondly by his colleagues because he was coming up with these theories that no one else thought of. And he thought that there was suction vortices, small-scale mini tornadoes, if you will, inside the larger tornado as a whole. So again, he took all of this research and wanted to classify it because he was a very data-driven person. And he did that with the F scale in 1971. He came up with this scale based on the damage, again, using the fingerprint of the damage that the tornado caused to classify the wind speeds on a 6-point scale from F0 to F5, from your weakest tornadoes to your most destructive or significant storms. So the F scale was put to the test in the 1974 super outbreak. There were many tornadoes across the Midwest, one specifically, this photo, in F5 in Ohio, and he took all of that data that he collected and put it into his very detailed survey. With that, here's a zoomed-in picture. He put where the strength of the tornadoes was on the tornado paths. He traced all of the different tornadoes that crossed the country, and he lined up when fatalities occurred, when, what buildings those people were in. So a very detailed study that, again, set the standard for future tornado surveys. Another event that shaped his understanding and our understanding of the atmosphere was with those fatal plane accidents. At JFK Airport in 1975, there was a plane coming in to approach on the runway when a large burst of air, what we now call a downdraft, caused the plane to basically crash before the runway. He called it a microburst, and again, that's the terminology we still use today when there's a very small scale burst of wind that descends from a thunderstorm. So he came up with this theory that we still use today when you have a basically cold air rushing down from the thunderstorm cloud, and it can cause very big impacts on aviation. So all of this research, his whole life, was very impactful in how we classify severe weather and saved a lot of lives, especially in the aviation industry. Now, in 2001, we revised his F scale into the EF scale, the Enhanced Fujita scale, based on a little bit more research that has been done on certain damage indicators. So looking more specifically from an engineering perspective on why this building was destroyed, why was that one not destroyed, and using all of those damage indicators to then estimate the wind speeds based on that were caused by a tornado.
It's fascinating, and I am so impressed that there were all those pictures of the tornado in the 50s, right? Like now it's no big deal, we take pictures of everything,
right.
But there was obviously a huge event that people were photographing.
True, and we all know the F scale, or EF scale now that it's become known, and the F stands for Fujita, Ted Theodore Fujita, who of course is based on this research. So fascinating stuff. Thanks a lot, Jacob.
Good stuff.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jacob.
Good.